Hi to anyone watching this. In the hindsight of the internet, don't know who will be watching this, but we are. Hi, you're watching a game that was arranged through the Gauntlet, which is a community on the internet that gets together and plays cool tabletop role-playing games online. You find them at gauntlet-rpg.com. They do lots of cool stuff. They've got a cool blog, cool forums, a cool podcasting network, a really cool zine comes out monthly with supplements to existing games and original games of their own, which is really cool. And also, they've got a Hangouts calendar. Truth This Game is Arranged. This is part 2 of our series looking into Voidheart Symphony by Jay Isles. It's a modern day hack of her own Rhapsody of Blood, which translates that Castlevania style going into the dungeon to defeat evil monsters into the modern day. So the main touchstone is like Persona 5. We're playing a bunch of youthful rebels who see this like dark, corrupted underside of our city and try to, fight back against corruption and all that. True by literally going into the other side, other dimension, and beating the shit out of the counterparts of these corrupt figures. So that's fun. That's just like great fun. So what I'm going to ask first is before we get into actually, I'm just gonna ask like let's get to know let's have like a quick go through of our characters of our players and our characters, and then we'll go through them in depth again. Mainly because we're bringing in a new person and a new character in, so we'll go into more the depth with them probably like after this introduction, all the safety tools talk and stuff. But yeah, let's introduce who we have here today. I'm gonna go by the character keeper. I should introduce myself. Yeah, my name's Leandro. Hi, you see him pronouns. I'm running this thing, and yeah, let's start with David. Tell us about yourself, pronouns, all the cool stuff, and your character.
Sure thing. Hi, my name's David. I'm based here in the UK. I use he, him pronouns. I've been playing games with the Gauntlet for a year now, in fact, give or take. This is my first time playing Voidheart Symphony, or at least last week, I guess, was my first time playing Voidheart Symphony. But it's really good fun, enjoying it a lot. This evening, I am playing AJ Boudreau. He's a young man in I don't know the American terminology, but in his last year of high school, in our sort of vaguely New Orleans-y city. He is in the Protector playbook, which means that he's someone who kind of takes care of people, looks out for them, that sort of thing. His vocation on that specifically is carer, and the way sort of this looks is that he is I said he's in like his final year of high school, but his family own a diner, soul food joint in the city. A few months ago now, maybe a little longer, his father was killed in an accident on a construction site owned by or managed by his great uncle, who was in fact our antagonist last time. Now AJ, as well as studying at school, also helps his mum to run their family business. And as a result, he's often tired and overworked, but doing his best.
As we all strive to do. Up next, Ludo. Tell us about yourself and your character.
Hello, I'm Ludo. I go by Enial. I've been in the Gauntlet around the same time as David has been. I think my first game was on September, which is actually fitting because I'm now running the very same game that I started playing on the Gauntlet. That's funny. Yeah. And I'll be playing Nadine Piaget, which go by they, them. And they are the Watcher, which is supposed to be the more advisor detective playbook that, well, maybe they should not meddle so much in the affairs of the others. And I'm sure Nadine will get in trouble for that. They are a graduate. They graduated from the same school as Bordeaux did, but they are now in between. I saw that David was at the handstand. Is there something you wanted to say, David, or it was just?
David, did you click? Oh, okay, you just hit by mistake.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So they are between high school and college. They've been putting it out because, well, they are on a tricky situation. Their parents, they are working off the country, and they were pretty much left in the care of a family friend, Richard Bollet, which is the history teacher at our high school. And during their time in the school, they were pressuring being kind of, let's say, the teacher assistant, helping with the students in troubles and whatnot. And even after graduated, they are kind of being this role, and they have been using this as an excuse because the idea, that Nadine Piaget thought that they had, and that both their parents and Richard Bollet have pressured them, is that, well, obviously they want to follow a career in education like their parents and like Bollet, and look how good they are with the students. But Nadine is starting to have doubts, and is procrastinating going into college until they figure this out. And if that means keeping into trouble until then, well, as long as they are helping someone, it's worthwhile, right? Then you don't have to face your problems. That's good, right?
Yeah, why don't you concentrate fixing other people's problems? You have to. It's an engine to be altruistic. Up next we've got Alex. Tell us about yourself, and then your rebel.
Yeah. Hi everyone, my name's Alex. I use they, them pronouns, and I'll be playing Model, better known as Mott, with Z pronouns. Mott is an inhuman born of the strange, mysterious other plane. I forget what we're calling it. But they've got dark red markings all over their skin. They constantly change because I'm that extra. Instead of being like a student or college kid or anything, they run their midnight carnival, which is what they call their like street shows every night. They just change places, and whoever's there is whoever's there. They know that they're like this otherworldly being, but they don't know how they got their shape. And they're obsessed with finding out like who they stole this shape from. Like the doppelganger in the real world that they've copied. And I think that's about it.
See, I didn't know until now that this shape is not there. So thanks for that's something. I'm gonna note that down.
Also, if anyone wants one of their NPCs to also secretly be like a model and human being, I've been saving that relation from last time, so just let me know.
We'll figure out where that goes for sure. And last but not the least, Pocket, tell us about yourself and this new character that we're seeing, or new party member, to use more RPG terms, JRPG terms, so to speak.
Hi, I'm Puckett, he, him pronouns. I will be playing Lily Zero, a heretic who is also a prodigal activist. Think of her as the food not bomb, soup kitchen kind of punk who knows that things are bad and is doing something about it, but she doesn't quite know how bad things actually are yet.
Nice. I'll ask a bit more about her and like her backstory and whatnot, and then we'll finish up your bonds and whatnot. But before that, I want to talk about safety tools, stuff we're using to make sure we're playing in a safe and comfortable environment. I remind folks that we have a lines and veils tab on our character keeper. Lines are things that won't show up in the fiction at all, won't be crossed, all that stuff. It's not just going to show up. It's just not going to show up in fiction. Veils are things that can happen in fiction, but we're not going to concentrate on it. Like they'll happen off screen, or we'll fast forward over them, etc., etc., or the camera will pan away. It can happen, but we're not going to focus on it. This game also uses the X card. Basically, if we do roll into a scene where folks feel uncomfortable for any reason, and any reason is fine, they can invoke the X card just by either going on the chat or on the screen or on the roll for your party. I might ask some questions on what element is being X carded, but don't get the question if the card is played. If it's played, it's played. We'll roll back and try something else. And finally, we have an open door policy, which I might be using because I have upgraded from water to coffee for these like pre-midnight games. So I might end up. Oh wow, this is more than halfway done. So I might use that open door policy soon. Basically, what that means is that if for whatever reason folks need to step away from the table, whether there's an emergency or you're more tired of your thoughts, you need to take a break, or need to step away, or you have foolishly drank all your coffee before like the shenanigans happen. yeah, caffeinated. Yeah, that's a thing. Is that why my patter is a bit more ridiculous? Okay, all right, okay. Yeah. So if any reason that all happens, we'll pause the game. People can call for a break at any time, for any reason. We're making sure you're comfortable. Even if it's like, can we have a quick bio break for like 2 minutes? You can call that anytime, and the game will be paused, and we shall. Okay, yeah, maybe. See, this is an experiment. I've never drank coffee for a game that I'm running, so this is unless it's midnight when I'm running that game. So this is an experiment. This might change next week. Who knows? All right. So let's go back to Lily Zero. Was there? It's a very straightforward. They seem very straightforward. So let's go to like your bonds. So here in the Heretic Playbook, Lily, there's like 3 questions, and you pick one to ask the other players, and anyone then can jump in, and that'll be like your bond with one of those players. So I'll take a look at those 3 questions and see which one would interest you.
Well,
that for others to answer.
Considering that a lot of crust punks are either trust fund kids or actually homeless instead of just kind of faking it, I'm thinking Lily Zero is more the latter, like someone who believed in her causes enough that she wound up getting kicked out. She's fending for herself on the streets. She's had some issues. So I think the good question to ask is, which of you helped me put my life back together?
Anyone interested in being the person to help Lily out?
I mean, the boring option is Nadine, but if someone has a more less obvious mainstream way, yeah.
I mean, Matt isn't the person to know how to put a life back together, but if you want to learn how to like perform street shows, I'm all there.
So maybe a job at AJ's restaurant, or?
What do you think, AJ?
Yeah, that could certainly work. AJ's restaurant certainly seems to attract its fair share of strays. So yeah, that could definitely work.
All right, and then let me make sure I understand how this works. So what covenant does that result in?
they gain a sworn tower covenant with you. So
Okay.
yeah, put their name there. Their arcana, that's tower, and then you just click sworn. So what that means, sworn is that at the start of an investigation, which is what this session is going to be, they start at rank 1 if they're sworn. If they're not sworn, they will start at rank 0.
Okay, so they start at rank 0. Got that.
Basically, what the rank means is that when you roll, there are moves involving covenants, and then when you roll with their rank, and there are certain moves depending on what arcana of the covenant you're rolling with, and the rank determines the
Okay.
you get a +1 basically.
Quick question, hopefully quick question. With
Mhm.
contacts, I pick one to add to covenants and give them a name, and then pick another entry above to represent covenant with another rebel's contact?
Yeah, basically you're going to invent one NPC for yourself using
Correct.
that list, and then you're going to pick another from that. You're going to pick an NPC that was made by another player character and assign one of the other covenants on that list to them. So say, you made one of the High Priestess, your partner in
Okay.
activism there.
So
That's the
then
one you made.
I would have to pick, for example, Lisa Montclair, the charity case.
Yes, for your other covenant.
Okay. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And then I'm a little bit confused by the entry under contacts because it says the chariot, the hanged man.
Oh, that's probably a typo. This is a playtest. I'm going to
So-
note that down to tell Jay.
Is it the chariot or the hanged man that's the covenant?
I think it's meant to be the hangman because like that blurb, an old friend battling chronic illness, that doesn't sound like the chariot. Or double check. The chariot is like this is where I should be paying attention to learning what all those tarot cards meant. Let's see. I think that's meant to be the hangman. I don't know how that blurb is meant to be like the chariot, who is about being an independent, self-contained person determined to achieve their goals, while the hangman is hangman usually have something on them. I think it's meant to be the hangman.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I'll make a note to ask Jay that.
If you're looking at the character sheet, does it look like my covenants are correct now?
Let me go to your character. Sorry, I'm on the covenants tab, and
Totally understand.
things are freezing. Why are they freezing? Yep. Yep. Those all look great. So
Okay. And then is there anything else that I need to fill out at this time, or are we jumping straight in now?
I don't think there's anything else. I think you've got it. I'm gonna ask each person what their actually, you know what? I'm gonna add a tab I should have, or another row. I'm gonna ask each person what their mundane role is, as in what do they do in the mundane world. But that's gonna go for every person. So I think for character creation, Lily's done pretty much.
Sorry, just
Okay. Yeah.
I just remember. So the with the PC covenants, it's the other way around. It's the PC that answers the question that takes the covenant.
Oh.
And I think that
Yes.
someone didn't do a covenant last time, but I don't know who. I think I did, but
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so other way around. Sorry, my you're right there, David. My bad. So Pocket, you don't make the tower covenant with AJ. AJ makes the tower covenant with you.
Okay.
Yes.
I think it was Ludo who was saving one.
I think too, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yes, we were saving someone
under
because we knew you were going to be here.
It says insert new covenant here.
Oh, that was for my second NPC, where I really, really wanted someone to be an ancient and human, but no one that's taken the bait last time.
It is a bit of an ask.
I mean, fair, but still, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So AJ has 4 covenants?
Oh yes, the void is something we picked up. He picked up last time because of a thing that happened in the dungeon. Don't worry about it. That's AJ. AJ has to worry about that. Yes, I think Ludo, you were saving yours question for.
Yeah, I saw the first one and I remember that we discussed it because it will be an easy fit. So the one that I thought it would be a good idea is which of you knew me by my handle long before we met in real life?
Do you think that fits your character pocket, Lily?
Hang on. I'm looking for the playbook real quick.
It's the Watcher, yeah.
You know, I'm not sure Lily is much of a tech person. At least not that's not quite. I don't have her like imagined as like a techie, hackery type person, like very much street level, what she can deal with her hands, that sort of thing, very tactile. So
maybe
I'm thinking like assessing, maybe.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that one alternatively. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so I get you its judgment.
All right, so that's Nadine. Judgment.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so you are tasked with assessing me, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So are you actually enrolled in the school or?
That's a good question.
Maybe I'm tasked. Yeah, maybe I'm tasked with assessing if you should be allowed in the school. Because we get that it's like some kind of private academy of some sort.
I mean, works for me.
Cool. Oh yeah, just to like give some notes on the setting because you weren't here when we were talking about it. Pocket. We're kind of like we're in a semi-fictionalized New Orleans sort of city.
Okay.
We had to talk about like, well, they want to be set in the real world or they want to set in a fictional city, and it's like, okay, why don't we just meet it halfway? And like, the vibe is of a swampy metropolitan city in the summer. Hence why a lot of folks, quite a number of folks, have French names. But yeah, that's kind of the vibe of the city. We'll build it up, as we play along with like more locations and NPCs and whatnot. But yeah, that's the vibe. So I'm gonna ask each of you to tell me like what your mundane role is, as in what do you do in the mundane world. Like, what does society see? Like, what's your slot in society? And you can say like activist as well, or something like that. But yeah, I've added a new tab. It's under vocation. Just like vocation is like, yeah, like some sort of, it's a thing you dedicate yourself to. But like when the mundane role is what kind of role do you like perform in society? Like vagrant could be one, but the more mundane stuff is like works at a diner or stuff like that, like a job. Oh yeah, for everyone else who was here last week, you clear all your static and harm because we're all out of the the spooky construction yard. And yeah, I think that's it. Anyone have any more questions? And obviously, if you have any questions when you think about them later, feel free to shout them out. Questions are fine anytime. But I'll ask for like one last round of questions before we get into this city of ours.
It's so weird to me that you don't start with moves.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, there's a progression for like the first session. Like, here's how you go, here's how you start, here's the opening scenario and whatnot. It is weird. I know some folks who like start off with like not figuring out their stats and character creation. They'll just like, oh, what am I feeling when I roll this? I'm feeling a -1 for this, which is weird, but it's interesting. That's I want to do it. They want to do it. Yeah, I think this is meant to simulate. Like, actually, I should have asked this, Bucket. Have you played like the Persona games?
I have one here that I have not yet opened, so that would be a no.
Cool.
I'm aware of them though, and I am aware that you kind of like shift into an alternate persona. You go to like during the day, you do your normal go to school stuff, do your job. At night, you basically go defend the world, and then it's back to normal the next day. Is that pretty much accurate in terms of the loop?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I think the not having moved to start is meant to simulate. There's a moment in each like player character, for each member of the party, where they awaken themselves in the dungeon. And I think not having moves at the start simulates that. But
Gotcha.
pretty much, yeah. So I think that's the design philosophy of that, anyway. But all right, that's before we start debating more about design philosophy. Let's actually play this game. Okay, so let's. Here's actually an interesting thing. Did we decide on what happened to poor Uncle Arnie?
I took the what do you call it? The like Reformation or whatever it's called thing at the end of the session with the shard of the yeah, I don't know all the terminology yet.
No worries. Yeah, okay. So you hear this. This is heard around the city. I think this becomes like not front page news, but it's like one of those like things they just add to their news packages. You heard this as well, Lily, of this construction yard manager, Arnold. I forgot what his last name was, because it's been a while. When I say a while, 7 days. This construction yard manager who has been illegally using student labor in his yard, so to speak, and it's him like, and the weird thing is that it's him marching up to like a police station and just like sobbing. Yes, LeBlanc. Yeah, there we go. Arnold LeBlanc, Uncle Arnie to AJ. But yes, this construction yard manager who just came up to police station and just started like confessing everything, just out of the blue. And the investigation going into the construction yard and seeing, oh shit, student labor is being used here. Whoops, we didn't see that. So that's pretty much, yeah. The public confess their crimes and make reparations for injuries inflicted, and that's what basically Uncle Arnold like just promises reparations for what he's done. So we're kind of like skipping ahead a few weeks. I want to like, let's take a snapshot of each character as they're going by like their day to day. I think maybe not a few weeks actually, maybe a few days after the whole, after the investigation wound down. This includes you as well, Lily. I want to see like what's your day to day. Give him a moment to think about that, and I think I'll go by the order of the character keeper.
Yep, sure thing. So I think like in the immediate aftermath, I think AJ's quite shaken, and his mum is quite shaken by the whole thing with Uncle Arnie as well. Kind of the extent of his involvement in her husband's death and all that is. So I think like it's probably. I think it's like these things tend to be. It's a fairly. The diner is a fairly precarious small business, so they probably still stay open. But I think it's a subdued couple of days as they're sort of. It's like they've got like the TV on, probably just with the volume down and the subtitles on, as more like revelations come out as a result of Uncle Arnie's confession.
Yeah. Do you kind of like twig that him confessing has something to do with what you and your friends did?
Yeah, I think so. Though obviously he's not speaking to his mum about that, but
Cool. All right. What about Nadine? What's their day-to-day been like after the whole twisted, haunted roller coaster ride of a construction yard and all that?
Yeah. After that hit, that was kinda even a bigger deal within the school, in which there was pressure to discipline a lot of the students for taking part into this. And now it has been quite troublesome days in which Nadine has been given new students to keep an eye on, to make sure that they don't go looking for jobs anywhere else and whatnot. But nobody's very worried why the students went into that in the first place. And they are getting a bit frustrated because they are only punishing the students for being forced into these exploitative situations, but they're not doing nothing to prevent. Again, they are just making sure that next time it happens, they will be even further punished. And they've been trying to get into contact with their obsession, Mott, but they are getting frustrated because, again, Mott continues to be a mystery, and there is no sign online of Zero. So
All right. What about you, Mott? Speaking of Nadine's obsession, what have you been up to, Mott?
Yeah, I think we see Mott like still doing the usual street performing routine, wheeling their like boxes of magic tricks from one spot to the next. But like keep an eye out whenever they pass like a television store or like a newspaper stand, see if they can like catch any glimpses of what's going on. And I think after they've seen the all of the news come out, they drop by the construction site where they all were and just like jam a marked playing card of a Joker into like the wood next to the entrance, slightly dripping in dark red.
Of course, someone here is dropping a calling card.
Yeah.
Of course. All right. Okay. Feels like there should be a retaliation to that. And then to Lily. So obviously you don't know, most of the references to haunted construction yard is probably going over your head, which is perfectly fine. Because Lily wouldn't know anything about that. But you work at that diner, so you probably got the mood of what's happening.
I mean,
with AJ.
to me, it's just another urban legend, I think. I mean, you hear about weird stuff, but really the real world is, it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, it is what it is. And if you go looking for deeper meanings, you're probably just looking for conspiracy theories and trying to pretend you understand the chaos that surrounds us all. So, I think it's just something that she would have kind of dismissed as just rumors, people making things up, ghost stories. It can't be real. But, her day-to-day, washing dishes, she's working in the kitchen, mopping, scrubbing. Somebody says, hey, there's a mess in the bathroom. It's her job to go clean it up. Maybe she sleeps in the storage room. And I'm thinking that if this is something that AJ is okay with, maybe when food is about to expire, instead of throwing it out, she cooks it up and starts serving it up to homeless people, taking meals out to them so that the food doesn't go to waste. Just a step away from dumpster diving. Although, frankly, she does that too. So.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. And then just to see if everybody's okay with this, it looks like Lisa Montclair has a lot of connections to people. I saw Ludo's message about Max being an obvious choice. I'd like to switch my NPC connection from Lisa to Max, if that's okay.
What's the connection?
The connection would be that Max is an old friend battling chronic illness. Max being the ostracized activist.
Oh. Feels weird to me to have too many connections to the ostracized activist as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. Max is also dating AJ. So
okay.
Either actually Max or Lisa actually are neck and neck for connections. So either of them would be fine, I think.
Well, in that case, how about Richard Boulay, since there's no connections on any of the other character sheets? But Ludo mentioned that the ostracized activist would be a natural fit, and it's actually a good call. I just didn't see that message.
Cool. Ludo, can you tell us more about Richard Boulay?
Basically, the only thing that we have established is that they are pretty much Nadine's kind of parent figure, the closest that they have. They are the history teacher at Bordeaux Academy, and I don't picture them as much older, and they seem to have a deep interest in the lives of students.
Would that be okay with you, Lily? If that's like a friend of yours that's battling illness, maybe Richard's the reason why Nadine is tasked with assessing you. Yeah.
Sure, that works.
Keep an eye on you, that sort of thing. Cool. Okay, so here's
we now established that Richard Boulay is battling chronic illness.
Interesting. All right. Someday someone will want to be Mutt's inhuman friend, impossibly ancient. Today's not that day, sadly. We'll get there. All right. So here's the thing that's going to be quite common with the running a playtest. I missed the thing. So I'm going to need AJ to do a retaliation check, which is on the main PDF and not in the moves list. Basically, this is what happens when you pick Reformation, which is what you did. You got Uncle Arnie to confess to all that. But what's going to happen is you're going to roll the retaliation check with disadvantage. What that means is, let me find retaliation again. It's in the, again. There we go. The castle is a jealous master. It will not tolerate rebels misusing its power. So you, AJ, are going to roll a check against against your shadow. So what that means is with a disadvantage. What this means is you're going to roll 3d6, and I'm going to pick the lowest two. Let's roll those 2d6, the 3d6. The roll for a party, I'm going to link it again in the chat, but it is in the farthest right. Poor combination of words. So what'd you get? You're muted.
The lowest two are a 4 and a 1.
Okay, cool. So when this game says check, it does something different where you don't combine it. Instead, you're going to see how many dice you have over like your gauge. So say if I ask anyone to check against, let's say if I ask Lily to check against lack, they're gonna roll 2d6, and if you have 2 dice that go over the number of marks you have, which is 2 in that gauge, that's a strong hit. If it's only 1 dice, it's a weak hit. So for this, it's only 1 die because your shadow is 1, so it's a weak hit. So what that means is, on a weak hit, the castle passively makes life harder for you. Each rebel looks up at their highest trouble gauge. But I don't think anyone has any higher than 2 marks under trouble gauges. So for now, you're all fine. It's all fine. If it was a miss, it would have been horrible. But for now, I think, yeah, we could just get those little vignettes. Life is maybe better for those students. They're not working in a construction yard anymore. But, you know, things get tougher a bit, but you're able to handle it. It's fine for now. So here's the thing with the mundane part of like investigation. Now that some folks know that you can beat back, corrupt individuals like that, folks are probably going to be wanting to, find more people like that who have been doing something. In fact, actually, I'm going to ask our activist here, Lily, if they know if they've been working on. What have they been working on in terms of like outside of their mundane role? What have they been looking into?
Well, I've been hearing but have not yet seen that there are some people in suits going around and offering to, some people in the homeless community money for various odd jobs. They want them to go through, do some laundering. They want them to do some, cleaning up, that sort of thing. But the most insidious rumor that I've been hearing lately is that some of these people are being asked to test out new pharmaceuticals. And the people who've been asked to go clean up or something like that, well, they come back and they seem fine. But the people who've been asked to go test out a pharmaceutical, well, they haven't been seen since. And in a couple of cases, it's been a week or two. I haven't seen Jack. I mean, Jack was a standby. I mean, he was always hanging out by the dumpsters in back of AJ's restaurant because he knew that I was cooking stuff up and he could get a meal, at least every other day, something like that. I haven't seen him for like 2 weeks. Last I heard is that Steve saw him getting into a van, and that's been it.
So that's interesting. I want to know then what's the other 3, what other 3 have been doing besides the mundane stuff. Like now they know there's a world where they can punish these people. Do they hear about what Lily's been hearing? I'm assuming AJ probably would, since there seems to be a network of people in this diner who.
Yeah, exactly. I think AJ's probably aware.
Yeah. Also for this investigation mundane phase, we're going to this is a bit different in terms of what we had last week, which is a fairly straightforward dungeon crawl. This is more okay, now you tell me, who do you want to meet, what do you want to do, what do you want to look into. It's that sort of play while we're here. So say if you want to hang out with a covenant, just to let off some steam, so to speak, or you want to look into these rumors, which now that they've been declared by Lily, they're now true. There are rumors of these men in suits winkling away the poor and the destitute. So they're definitely now a thing in this world as well. So I want to know what each of you want to do. Is there a scene you want between each other or different characters, or is there something you want to investigate? If you want to say hey, I want to find information, someone, that is a move there as well. You can just say who you're going to. If you want to just info on something, or Yeah, those sort of things. So give you a minute to think about what course of action you're planning. And if anyone has an idea, feel free to jump in. Not like I can just start throwing people at each other. Go on, Ludo.
I
Or
think there
Nadine.
can be a scene in which Nadine finds out that Benoit has this Boulay has this problem, this chronic disease, and maybe a tie to this supposed pharmaceutical company that has been doing trials, so that we get all the things connected. Then we can go from that.
Cool. Okay. All right. So where do you? Okay. So that's your plan. I want to hear what everyone's plan is, and then we'll kind of roll around through that. So you want to meet with Richard. Maybe find out about this disease. Maybe trigger a hangout move with your covenant. Which are cool little things. What about everyone else? What's their plan? And it's fine if you don't. If you don't, I'll have something for you all.
Is Lily too new to have a plan?
Nah, come on. You're an activist rebel. You can do what you want. It's just that you have no idea there's a shadow world that exists. I mean, if you hear something like suits, coming in and coming around, and you have a friend who's just disappeared, I'm sure you're gonna wanting to do something, right?
Well, I'm, definitely I want to make up some po' boys or something like that, take them around to people, because let's be blunt, homeless people are pretty much invisible. Nobody really pays attention to them, and so they see just about everything. So I'm going to start talking to some of the people that I know to see if anybody's seen Jack, to see if anybody knows anything about these vans, to see if anybody knows anything about these people in suits who've been coming around.
Cool.
Yeah. I think that I might actually volunteer to help Lily out with that. Both, yeah, because obviously, like these people going missing, going missing worries me, regardless. But I'm also, maybe thinking, yeah, possibly it does have something to do with the weirdness that's going on, and I don't want like Lily getting involved in that without realizing what's going on. So
because I am pretty clueless about this stuff,
That's fair. That's cool. So yeah, we'll get the two of you in the scene talking to these like people with information. Cool. And Mott, what are you up to?
I mean, I've got the team being responsible and investigating things. So I might hang out with Max.
Cool. I'm sure Max might know a thing or two. Okay, so let's all do that. Actually, you know what? We have reached an hour. Let's take 5. Just a quick 5. And then we'll jump in first with Richard Blay, and then these information people, and then Max and Mott. So I'm gonna prepare. Let's see. Yeah, let's take 5. I'm gonna put on the video. Yeah, that's basically music from Persona 5 itself. um, Low made the point because I wasn't playing the game with him. That like, if you're not looking to monetize your videos, you can have fun with whatever YouTube video you put on the intermission. Cool, everyone's back, and I've just during that time I was looking at the PDF and I figured out some more stuff with like how you actually find your next target and what you deal with them. Okay, figured it out. Yeah, let's go to. Okay, let's start with Nadine and Richard. Actually, before we do that, I need to practice doing this every hour. Just do a quick check-in if folks are doing fine. How are folks doing? Still doing cool? Okay, cool. So yeah, Nadine, where do you meet Richard?
So I think it's after one of the detention periods for the poor unfortunate students that were working on the construction site. And Nadine was pretty much given the task of tending to them, and they did not have much mind on that. And in fact, they were a bit pissed that this travesty, this pantomime of justice was going on. It was really not actually serving anyone. It was not serving the kids. It was not serving the school. It was just serving, the school board and the pretensions that this is a place that enforces discipline and whatnot. And they actually send the kids earlier, 10 minutes, and they just go to rush to meet Boule at his office.
Yeah, I think. What's Boule like? Tell me what he's like, and I'll describe his office. Actually, no, you tell me. He's your NPC. At least you're the one who came up with him.
So he's basically how you would picture, like when I say a New Orleans archaeologist. So very interested on the cultures of the diaspora and recovering, and on the melting pot and the evolution of the things, as well as the bio culture around. And his office is full of that. He used it to do a lot of field work, and he actually stopped that for reasons that I don't know, and nobody really discussed. And after that, he resigned to a more, let's say, safe and secure position as a high school teacher.
Yeah. So I think you come in and his office it's a teacher's office. You know what it's like. He probably has like a bunch of no, I think he has one frame picture of when he went out to do these expeditions or so. But yeah, there's like a lot of books. There's a weird stack of just folders overflowing stuff. Like they're not supported by anything. They really shouldn't be stacked up like that on the floor. Yeah, and I think he is typing something frantically when you come in, and then he sees you, and his eyes kind of light up a bit and says, Nadine, how's... I hope you're doing well.
Well, as far as possible, this nonsense with disciplining the students is ridiculous. At least, have them work on a soup kitchen or something like that. Something that actually has civic utility, instead of having them bored for hours at their desks.
It is a strange lesson to be teaching them to make up for transgressions against society. You're going to be kept in a fairly airtight room. They keep it fairly airtight, that room, don't they? It's disgusting, really.
Well, it does fit to create the expectations of the prison factory high school pipeline.
He sighs and kind of like he stops typing and he, with a flourish, kind of like presses enter, and then he fully turns to you and says, "Well, as much as you and I probably spend hours grousing about this sort of thing, and we could, that option's still on the table. I'm guessing you came here to do more than that."
Yeah, we can save that for dinner. I wanted to ask you something. Uh, do you know any students that have been getting in similar problems? Because we only learned about these events on the after it came out on the newspapers, but let's be frank, the the school board only cares about making a show of disciplining these students because they got complaints for their very wealthy parents of the most affluent students that have a problems with this plebeian reputation being associated to the school where the precious little children go to. They are not doing anything for the other students that might be in trouble. In fact, they may actually try to cover up. And we both know that there are people that are in precarious situations, and if they see how these other students were punished for that, they'll be even more reluctant to reach out for us. I'm afraid we have to be proactive in figuring out what they need.
I think he sighs and kind of types some stuff on his computer. Let's see. I'm gonna need you to roll a mundane move. Put the clues together. Sounds like you're looking for some. You're not asking for like idle information. You're asking for like something specific to chew upon. So check against infamy. So you're gonna roll 2d6, and if and see how many of those two dice go over one. That shouldn't be too hard.
Question. What does my infamy protection does in this case?
Oh, it's go when I say you have to tick, you don't have to because you have a resistance of 1.
Okay.
That should
Okay.
that should be a box, not just a +1, honestly. But that's the formatting stuff. But yeah, that
Okay,
happens if you like.
2, 3.
What'd you get?
2 and 3.
Okay, cool. So that's a strong hit. On a hit, yeah, they'll just tell you. So, yeah, they sigh and says, "Oh, if only we could look after all the other students who can't, who have, just not many people to look after them. We're certainly not lacking in charges to look after. I could give you a whole list, but tell me, are you looking to save anyone in particular, Nadine?"
Well, I'm looking more for the people that are in a precarious situation that they might fall through the cracks. You know, the ones, the border cases, the ones that if we don't find out what is going with them now, they are pretty sure to never bring something that we can help them.
And he says, "There's so much. There's so many. But here's..." And he pulls up a file and he kind of directs his like monitor to you and says, "You see, like there's fairly yeah, no, it's not a picture of Mott, because I don't think Mott's a student in this institution. I'd say it is it's a it's a fairly ghostly looking kid. You maybe vaguely recognize them. They use non-binary. They use they them pronouns. They've got like a beanie, and their hair is like brown, poking out that beanie. They have a lot of big bags under their eyes. Sherry McLaughlin lives with their parents in it. Well, you say live. I don't know if you call having to rent out a hotel room every night as living. Emergency accommodation and all that. This close to being turfed out into the streets and all that. Parents can't. I'd say parent. Mom can't find a job. All of that. I don't know what you're planning to do with this particular case. But Nadine, I don't know if you can do that with every single one of these students. Like, I could have pulled up any other file. What would you do?
Well, as far as I can see, these are only the tips of the iceberg, but we will never know what we can do or what we cannot do unless we fully understand the dimension of the problems. Otherwise, we'll be spending all our time taking cracks at the ice at the top without making any difference.
Well, you've got your game plan, Nadine. Speaking of game plans, how's the one I assigned to you? Our fiery activist, Miss, what's she calling herself? Zero.
I have to say, with the recent mess, I had not time to check on her.
Okay, well, since I'm doing you this favor, you can do this favor to me as well. And he pulls out from his desk, and plops out in front of you this small notebook. So a commonplace book. Because I'm triggering the hangout move for the Empress, which is his covenant. When you visit the Empress, they give you something impractical but important. Making it part of your life becomes another obligation. So basically, he points to the book and says, we live in some sort of 21st century. You can probably just send this to me through emails, whatnot. But I do want to be sure that you're looking after Miss Zero like I asked you to, or at least just making sure she's on the up and up. And I do want it in writing.
Is this actually going to help with her attempt to have a scholarship? Should she be interested?
Well, that's a shame. It wouldn't not help. And he tries to pull off an enigmatic smile. Tries.
I won't do anything if it's only to bolster the egos of the school board. You know that.
Of course not, no. School board can go hang. This is for her sake.
Good, then you can count me in. And as Nadine thinks about it, well, not funny, but cannot stop thinking about how similar the two cases that we just talked are. I wonder how many people are in the same situation.
There's never just a borderline case, Dean. There's never just one case.
Well, you know what will help? School dorms that are accessible to the poorest students would actually do a lot to help, so they don't have to live in the streets or in shelter or in hotels. But, well, I guess that's something that does not cross the mind of people that think that they can help.
Yeah, I think it is shrug, but it's a tired sort of shrug, as if he's kind of heard these sort of things. There's a lot of things you could do, but reasons stop you from doing them. Yeah, I think we'll end this scene. The last thing I want you to do is there's another mundane move I need you to roll. It's check in. You're gonna check against contamination this time. So 2d6. See how many you roll over 2. back this time since you have 2 back.
5-3.
Oh, you're doing really well. So yeah, so you're gonna set your rank with the Empress to 2.
That's good.
Yeah, so you can use their city move or their castle move. You roll +2. That's what the rank means. And the ranks don't change until you finish this investigation, not session, investigation. So these can go for a while. All right, so yeah, we've got that, and let's jump to. Speaking of Lily, where are you and AJ at?
I think we're looking for Steez because I've known Steez for a while. He's been a regular at the food bombs table that we set up in the park, and he was one of the people who first told me about these vans.
Cool. So sounds like you're doing another I put the clues together as well. So you can check against infamy. So that's a 2d6, and your infamy is at 1. That black mark.
All right, so I roll 2d6, huh? Okay.
Mm-hmm. And see how many dice go over 1.
I had 1 die over 1.
Cool. So on a hit, they'll be free and willing to talk to you. On a weak hit, I guess you get to pick one. They're dealing with their own problems. They'll need something from you first, or their information is incomplete. I should also note to clarify if you or the GM picks one. Since there's ambiguity, I'm gonna let you pick one. AJ is with you, right? Cool. So where do you find Steez?
Honestly, I think we find him behind a liquor store, and I'm more than a little bit pissed off about this.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're swinging a brown bag. Well, not swinging, but they're kind of clutching it, and they kind of see the two of you, and it's like, hey, Lily, and
It's AJ.
AJ, yeah, AJ,
All right.
yeah.
Steez, are you really so drunk that you can't remember his name?
Well, when you're someone who knows a lot of people like me, they all kind of you need like a Rolodex to just know a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. Steez, one of the things that we agreed to, for me to help you out, for me to bring you food, for me to try to get you off the streets, is that you have to stay sober.
Yeah. I know, yeah, the agreement, but it's one thing to say, I'm gonna be sober, and it's another thing to be sober. There's a step in the middle. I'm a bit blurry on that step.
The step in the middle is you stop drinking and you don't put a bottle to your lips. Listen, Steez, I get it. Life out here it's demeaning, it's degrading, it's humiliating. People look at you like you don't exist, like they're just looking straight through you. It is cold, it is hard. But man, I understand wanting to get out of your head. But listen, when you do that stuff, when you get drunk, when you drink whatever it is that you've got in that bag, your head isn't clear. Bad things can happen to you. You're not aware of what's going on around you. You can't run as fast or as well if you have to. If you got to punch somebody, how do you know which one of them to punch if you're seeing double or triple? I'm not doing this to be an asshole. I'm doing this because it'll help you survive.
Can you be good and also just kind of come off as an asshole?
Listen, you knucklehead. I love you. You're my friend. But come on. You got to work with me here.
Mm,
You know it's dangerous out here, and you can't protect yourself if you're drunk.
I think for a moment, Steve kind of looks at AJ, who he didn't recognize, to see if but well, I'm trying to look something up. Give me a sec.
Hey AJ, can we take him back to the diner? Get some coffee in him. Try to get him sobered up.
Yeah, sure thing, Lily. We can take him back.
All right.
It's
Look, it's warm. You'll have a place to sit down. There's coffee. I can make you some food. The cops aren't going to bug you. Doesn't that sound better than sitting out here in this alley getting drunk?
I think kind of like the a bit of shame filters into his demeanor. He says, "That way, I guess always got to be so right."
It's not about being right, man. I care about you. I want to get you off the streets here, and I want to get you into a place that you can call your own. You know, maybe we can find you a job or something like that. It kills me to see you out here, man.
No. What kills me is that you care, and also that you're right. Fine. I think he kind of like he drops the bottle, and yeah, he's gonna come with you. And I think he's gonna tell you what he knows, obviously. But like the thing with dealing with their problems is that there's gonna be you had to take this extra step to take him to the diner and sober him up a bit. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah. So before we
And what is this extra step?
yeah, basically, yeah. I'm probably gonna ask you to make another roll and maybe make. Actually, no. Yeah, no. I think what I'm doing is like you just have to take him to the diner so you can get him to talk about the info you need.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll cut away from that for the moment and cut to Mott, and then we'll cut back to the diner, and then we'll cut to Nadine. Just finish all this. Cool. So Mott, where do you hang out with Max?
Oh, I think it's immediately after the street performance ended. Like whenever I want to talk to Max, I just like pick a spot in like a certain area, and then if Max is around, like maybe they'll see that I'm performing and come along, and then we just hang out afterwards.
Cool. So, what's hanging out look like for you and Max?
That is a good question. Part of me likes like the heart-to-heart talks at an abandoned playground at night.
Cool. Yeah, I think when we cut to, we're just a playground, and probably the two of you are on swings. I know Max is on a swing, definitely. He seems like
Absolutely.
he seems like a swing boy. Yeah, there's probably like a big moon in the sky, like a big pizza pie, blah blah blah. And yeah, I think we cut today just him talking about this day, and he's like, no, not of his day. He's more like, you're gonna have to tell. How did you do that thing with the cards and the fingers? How did you do that? Like, I swear I can understand more about capitalist theory before I can figure out how you do your thing.
I mean, you just push the card into your hand, and then it comes out of the fingers. I mean, like, how hard is it to understand?
Give me those cards.
Oh yeah, pass them over.
I think he takes out a card, and it's a very nondescript card. It's a 2 of clubs, and he says, any card. as you slowly
Any
swing.
card.
Any card. Okay, all right. Okay, here we go. Here's your deck back. You just push it in.
Yeah.
You sure there's no trick? All right. Okay. All right. Watch this. And he's gonna try and angle his hand in a way that you don't see slipping. It's slipping through his fingers. I don't know how that works, but he tries, and it's like he tries. Wait, hold on. Okay, all right. I give up. Okay. Keep your mysteries. That's fine. That's fine. But I think he's kind of smiling a bit.
So, you know that thing I keep talking about, the person I'm looking for. Have you heard anything about that by chance?
So you're looking for... Remind me again. You're looking for someone who looks exactly like you, just with or without the You're looking for yourself.
Yeah, in a way.
And you don't mean this metaphorically.
I mean, also kind of metaphorically, but like literally as well. And like the literal part is just as important.
Okay. Well, there's something up. Like I've made my inquiries. I've talked to folks, but I don't know if this is something kind of doofy. Like I don't know, you have some sort of twin. You were separated from birth or something like that. I mean, like, I kind of gotta know. Something up? What's up?
I mean, this may come as a surprise, given how I'm drifting all the time and don't really settle down anywhere. But I don't really know who I am or like where I'm supposed to be. Nothing seems clear, and finding this person would give a little clarity in my life.
If only we're all so lucky to find out the answer to all these problems is finding yourself, literally. I think he's gonna laugh at that, but it's not like a mocking laugh. It's like of course. I mean, man, I can't say that no one's felt what you felt. I mean, I felt that for sure. Some days you want to help change the world for the better, and you find out in one way in the world throws like a brick wall at you, and you're knocked down really hard. And you're knocked down so hard, that wall that weighing down, you wonder, it's so much effort to get back up. I mean, what keeps you getting back up, Ma?
I'm not really sure. I just know that there's nothing can start and nothing can end until I know who I'm looking for. It's just that vague hope is what keeps me going.
Well, journeys have been made on stupider hopes, I suppose. Your hope isn't
Speaking
stupid.
from experience.
Look, well, I've got nothing but experience. I've experience of the wazoo. Alright, so out of character, you've triggered the hangout move for what's your arcana with him? Strength.
Oh, yeah, strength.
So, when you hang out with strength, you can bring up an intense emotion you're struggling with. Next time you miss a move while indulging in that emotion, you can collect yourself and upgrade the result to a West 7 to 9 or weak hit. So basically, if you're feeling lost and confused, if you're feeling like, the opening to the video from My Chemical Romance's, no, never mind. If you're feeling lost, and you're feeling that lack of self, you're indulging that emotion when you have to make a move, you can bump that up. If you make a miss, anyway, you can bump that up. So that goes for until this investigation is over. All right.
Nice.
Cool. We need to do a check-in move with you as well. So you are going to check against contamination or contam, as I put in the chart. So 2d6. See how many hit over 1.
That is 2.
Cool.
4 and a 6.
Nice. So yeah, on a strong hit, you're going to set that covenant rank to 2.
Oh, nice. I can get punched even better now and not take damage when I'm helping people. I'm pretty sure that's what the castle move is.
Yes, actually, yes. Yeah, you can defend other rebels from taking a blow, and you have armor. All right.
Yeah.
So you are, thanks to hanging with strength, you have become hella strong. Cool. Let's cut to the diner. AJ, what's the sort of grub you serve up for poor Steez?
It'll probably just something fairly simple. Some eggs, some toast, and like a copious amount of coffee.
Yeah, I think Steve is definitely wolfing it down, and I think there is the more he sobers up, the more shame kind of radiates from him, and he kind of mutters thanks every now and then, and he says, I don't plan to be a charity case, I think is what he says.
That's fine. We're just think of it as, friends helping each other out.
Well, if there's anything I can help the two of you out, I owe you. Do you folks need anything?
Well, Steez, we could actually use a little bit of information here. Jack's been missing for 2 weeks now, right?
Yeah.
I heard he got into one of those vans with those dudes in suits. Do you know anything about those vans or the people who were in them?
I told Jack that I told him not to go with them. I mean, you hear these sort of things, It's a community service being given out, to folks who fall through the cracks, that sort of thing.
Community service run by people in suits.
They say, public services have failed you, so we're stepping in. That sort of thing. That's kind of the word. That's what the word they're putting out. They're putting out that they're testing something sign up for this trial for this sort of, I'm not sure. I think it's some sort of medical thing. You should sign up for that. You stay at their place for a while.
Okay, so they're doing a medical thing and they want you to stay at a place. Do you know where this place is? Do you know where these vans go? Do you know where they come from?
I wish I did, but I do know someone who would, because I've been hearing that they might be. I've been trying to convince them to not sign up anytime soon. But look at me. I'm not Mr. Convincing in any way. If you talk to them, they'll know. What's their name? Sherry. something. If you talk Sherry McLaughlin, I think they're Jesse's significant other. Do you know them?
AJ?
Doesn't ring a bell, but we can see if we can find them. Steez, these guys in suits, have you seen them at all, like in person?
Only once. There's a we call it a hangout, I guess. Like a few streets away from the shelter. Well, I say it's a shelter. It's more like a glorified B&B because you have to pay to like get a bed there. There's usually like a van nearby. Fucking poachers, a lot of them, predators.
Have you seen anything weird about them? I mean, weirder than just a bunch of folk in suits hanging out.
Besides that, I don't know. They're all these folks in suits. They're like, I mean, they're not like they're all clones of each other. No, they're all just men and women. They've got these big wraparound sunglasses. They've got the earpiece and everything. They look like they're fucking bringing in the president on a tour of the city's crappiest alleyways. And they do it with all these like shiny black vans. And they talk to people as if, well, that's what Sherry said. They talk as if like they know each and every one of you. So they just look at you and they've sized you up.
Thanks. You've been a real help. I guess we should try and find this.
Are you two gonna do something about this?
Well, where's this hangout spot? You said it's a few blocks from the shelter, but
yeah, it's like it's a condemned building. You see it when you spot it. It's the most. They make it so obvious. There's a building there that's like way more graffitied than the buildings next to it. It's like they think they're like Harry Potter and they're just casting a spell and no one will notice it. It's so obvious. You'll see it there. It's
spells.
Okay. Look, maybe I'm still a bit drunk. I tried to make a literary reference. See, that's what I'm dealing with. My literary references are just okay. Hold on. He puts more soup inside him.
So, Steez, with this building, be honest with me. I'm not going to get mad. But what are we walking into? I mean, is it a shooting gallery? I mean, what are we going to see? Just so I know what to be ready for when we go in there.
You're going to see a lot of sad people. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's not nice. Not because it's full of nice people. It's full of just folks who've hit bottom. That sort of thing.
All right. So we're not going to be like seeing people turning tricks or shooting up or anything, are we?
No.
Okay.
Like, nobody cares about the people there. Really. Nobody gives a shit. Except for your folks in suits.
Yeah, and the only reason they give a shit is because nobody's going to care if you guys go missing. Nobody's even going to notice.
Where's the lie in that?
All right. You I've I got a mattress in the cleaning closet. AJ, is it okay if he stays here tonight?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. So, Steve, you go sleep the rest of it off. You get some food. You got a roof over your head. You don't have to worry tonight.
You two are just regular fucking heroes, aren't you?
I'm just paying it forward. How do you think I got the mattress in the cleaning closet here?
I think he kind of smiles. Still a bit of shame in there, but helping out a friend, it's not a bad thing to do. We're going to cut from yourselves to Nadine. What are you up to now, Nadine?
Well, I guess the first thing in my mind is to do my job in a way. So I'm going to try and look for Lily Zero. So I think I know that she works at the diner. So that's probably going to be my main stop before I go anywhere else. Before I start actually following on clues.
Ooh. So, do you want to just run into these two, just to put everyone together?
Yeah. Then we just need to get Martin.
Cool. So yeah, I'm assuming then I should have asked this then for AJ and Lily. Were you two planning on going to the condemned building soon, or did you have other plans?
What time is it?
Let's say it's getting night, probably around the time Mott's having a heartfelt conversation with Max.
You want to head over there tonight, AJ, or do you want to wait until morning?
I guess there might be more people around there at night, so yeah, it might be an idea to head over there now.
I mean, maybe they'll have some answers for us, if nothing else.
Yeah, sure thing.
Cool. So yeah, I think when you go out of the building of the diner, there's Nadine, who AJ, you two, and Mott help beat up a giant Tin Man industrial robot belching fire. Lily, you only know Nadine as that mentor folk who's assessing you, so to speak. So yeah, Nadine, you see these two coming out of the diner.
Hey everyone, where are you going? Slow day on the diner?
Oh, hey, Nadine. Yeah, we were just Lily's looking for someone, and we were just going to see if we could track them down.
A friend of mine went missing. We were got a line on a place where he might have been.
Oh, really? And Nadine tries discreetly to somehow signal to AG that is this related with that thing? Do you think? Giving this silence, does she know? Is this related? Huh?
Yeah, I think Ada's going to shrug, but then I'll turn to Lily. Look, this is going to sound really crazy. I mean, really crazy. But you know this whole thing with my uncle. We went somewhere the other week. I still don't understand the whole of it, but it's like, I mean, it's like, full on sci-fi, other dimension stuff.
What are you talking about? I mean, you're not even coming close. You're saying words, and they're like in the order that you would put them in a sentence, but you are making exactly zero sense.
How to explain? You know how certain folks are forced to live in spaces that are invisible to society. Think like that, but on steroids. That that there is an underworld within the society underworld. I cannot explain. Our friend Mott, they are amazing, and they're no more.
Okay. Now I know you're just fucking with me, and I'm trying to find my friend.
Okay,
So
okay.
listen, whatever this thing I want to find my friend. I don't really have time for pranks. So whatever this thing is that you two are doing, can you just literally fuck off with it so that I can find my friend? Because whatever this is, like, just, it ain't cool, right? I'm trying to find my friend. So I don't know why you're doing this, but seriously, this is a really fucked up thing to do to somebody.
At this moment, AJ and Nadine, your phones get a notification. It's a big loud bzz, bzz, and you see that an app has installed itself into your phones. And it's just called Traverse the Metaverse.
Okay, stupid malware. Look, Lily. And Nadine pulls out her detailed notebook, and she opens on the transcript of the list of people that were enlisted on the metaphysical construction yard, which at least Max was detailed as the next target. And they open this space and put in front of Lily. The last time people went missing, this is who we cataloged, and we found that some of them were going to be target. Is your friend on this list?
Do you see the name Jack on there? Because I don't. This is a list of names. Again, I don't appreciate this. I mean, right now you're taking up my time, and I want to find my friend. So,
All right. Why don't you take the lead? I will help you.
you see, that's better. So, what we heard from Steve is that there's this abandoned building. It's condemned, but a lot of homeless people hang out there. So we were heading over there just to ask around, see if we could find anybody who'd seen my friend Jack. And then with any luck, we'll get a line out, because apparently he decided to go do some kind of medical testing thing with these people who've been going around in vans. So we're going to see if we can track him down, see if anybody's seen him in the last 2 weeks. So it's real simple. All we got to do is just ask around, but it may be a little dicey in there.
Then we need as much backup as we can. And Nadine turns to AJ. Can you get in contact with Mott? I keep trying, but there's just no way. We could lose their help.
I mean, I guess I can go and see if I can find Mott and brings them to the place if you want to go on ahead.
That seems wise.
Cool. I want to know what Mott's doing while this tense conversation is happening. Do you have a phone, Mott?
That is a very good question. Part of me wants to for like narrative convenience, and part of me wants to just absolutely not. I might go with no.
Cool. So yeah, you don't get an app. Instead, where are you now? Where are you now? This night, you probably finished up your heartfelt conversation with Max.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good place to look at people. Probably like trying to find like what is crowded at this time of night area, and just like sitting on a bench and just watching people go by.
Okay, it sounds like you're letting your hair down. So you're gonna roll. You're gonna check against contamination for me.
Sweet as. That is a 5 and a 1.
Cool. So on a weak hit, you're gonna pick one from the list below. You realize the truth about yourself, lose one shadow, and say how your self-perception has changed. Don't pick that because you're only on one shadow. The thing with shadow is that once you gain more, you get more moves. But once you hit like the max, like 5, every time you gain static, you get harm instead. So that's why you don't want your shadow to get too far up. So, but that's one choice.
Gotcha.
Your second choice is you meet someone new. You can either decide their appearance and role or their arcana, and then the architect picks the other. And if the interaction goes well, you're going to form a covenant. Or you hear a rumor of corruption and darkness, and you're going to gain fleeting advantage when you follow it for your investigation. So you pick one out of those 3.
Oh. That is a tough choice. Now let's go for a rumor of corruption and darkness.
Okay, cool. So you're sitting on this bench. You're probably like, it feels like a thoroughfare. Like, you know, there's like where just folks pass through when they're on their way home. Not like those big ones where like, you know, there's like a restaurant all over the place. But yeah, it's just like, I imagine like some sort of leafy, not a leafy square, but like, you know, just a square in town. Yeah, you're watching this a lot. You're just watching, and also on a weak hit, which is what you got, I get to pick consequence. I think you just sitting there watching people. People will notice that. I think people will absolutely notice that. So you're gonna add a tick to your heat gauge. So just
it is like some very intense staring at people.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, so a rumor about a rumor of corruption and darkness. So yeah, I think you will see kind of like, yeah, just regular people, and then you will see a what looks like a group of 3 people in suits, but they're like shoulder to shoulder to each other, almost like toy soldier uncanny sort of way, as they kind of walk across the street, and you catch their eye, and you see they're walking towards the edge, and there's a street as they walk through the square, and you see like, yeah, there's a van, and the doors are kind of pointed towards you, and I think you kind of actually no, I think they pass by near you. Actually, the van is much closer to you than I thought, and you can hear them. They're talking through the earpieces, and when you pass by, you hear close to acquiring Sherry McLaughlin, Dr. Boucher, yeah, that's what you hear as they pass by and they get on the van. and drive away. And I think you don't have a phone, so you can't get the app, but I think you just get like this sudden shock, as if like you're being tethered to a place, and suddenly you feel like a very similar place to where you were last week, where you went into.
Oh, maybe instead of like the app icon on the phone, I get that same icon like forming out of the marks.
Ooh. Actually, can you say that again? My internet broke up as you said.
Oh, so instead of like getting the app icon on a phone, like the red marks on Mott's skin form into that same icon.
Ooh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, so that just like pops up in your hand. All right. I want to know how AJ finds Mott, because Mott doesn't have a phone. And then once I find that, then we'll probably take another break because we're back at the hour, and then we'll cut to Lily and Nadine. But yeah, AJ, how do you try and find Mott?
Yeah, so I think basically he's going to head along to the places where Mott is likely to be performing, so places where people hang out and stuff like that. Though I think on the way there, he probably he will like get his phone out and check on that app that was downloaded now that there's no one immediately around.
Yeah, so the app looks like a mapping app. It's like a more funky Google Maps, for sure. But it has like here's a weird thing. It has 3 icons that are kind of like prominent, and one of them is close to you, near that square, and the other 2 are going towards where Lily said they were going to, near the place the homeless people hang out.
Interesting. Yeah, in which case I am going to, I think AJ's smart enough to put 2 and 2 together, and I think he is going to head towards the nearer dot, the one that's in the square.
Yeah, there's Mott staring. Probably a stop staring at this point. Yeah, I think you can just fill them in.
Yeah. I'll basically explain the goings on with Steez and Jack's disappearance.
Cool.
And I think I'll mention so it's people in suits, right?
Yeah, that's what I said. People in suits.
I saw 3 of them just now, talking about trying to get some Shelly next.
Yeah, that was the name Steve said. Sherry, I think it was. Yeah.
Sherry. And they're reporting to a Dr. Boucher.
Right. The name doesn't ring a bell, but yeah, that's worth knowing.
Cool. So yeah, 2 of you are probably gonna head off, meet up with. We'll cut to Nadine and Lily, but first we'll take another break since we're here for an hour, 5 minutes, for sure. All right. Oh shit, I've lost the video. Yeah, you can go ahead. I'm gonna put on the video. You can all go take a break. All right, where's that darn video? Tempted to just do it myself. Let's see.
Racing twilight moment, without without a sign, without grasping it. The real question to be asked: where have I been? I'm a shapeshifter at this masquerade, hiding both face and mind, free for you to draw. I'm a shapeshifter. What else should I be? Please don't take off my mask, revealing dawn. something inside. Will it unleash me, burning down the walls? Is there a way for me to break? I'm a shapeshifter at Paul's masquerade, hiding both face and mind, all free for you to draw. I'm a shapeshifter, have no face to show. Please don't take off my mask, my disguise.
I actually felt annoyed having to stop that music. I fucking love that soundtrack. Cool. All right, everyone's here. No, it's from the Persona 5 soundtrack. It's called Beneath the Mask. It's the music that plays when you're just. It plays at night when you're going around town doing stuff. Yes, yeah, it plays at night. I think, yeah. Fucking cat. Anyway, how's folks doing? Doing grand, hopefully. Cool. All right. So yeah. So it's cut to Lily and Nadine as they're making their way towards the quote unquote, not a homeless shelter. No, that's these folks actually those who's flunked out of the homeless shelter and they're going to this condemned building. But you kind of round the corner and there's this big black van parked in front of the building. There doesn't seem to be anyone around. Actually, no. There's a woman in a black suit, brunette, big wraparound sunglasses, and standing near the back doors of the van. What do you do?
Hey, you.
I think they're gonna. They try not to pay attention. I think they visibly not pay attention to you.
Okay.
Yeah, as Lily's doing that, Nadine is going to try to go around to get closer to the van.
All right. So, okay, we're back live. Hi, hello, etc., etc. Intros in the original video. This is part 2. Cool. So you ask, if there's anything in the streets.
I'm looking for something like a bottle or a rock of a decent, a rock about the size of a hand, that sort of thing.
Yeah. I think there's a bottle easily enough. Grab a bottle for sure.
Yeah. Hey, I'm talking to you.
All right. So here is. You're gonna make a roll for me. You're gonna do a move called Make a Stand. So when you place yourself in the way of someone more powerful, you check against infamy. So roll 2d6 and
that is 7, a 3, and a 4.
All right, so let's see what your infamy is. 1. Cool. So that's a strong hit. So in a strong hit, you choose 2. They don't cause you problems. They can't dismiss what you say, and they focus only on you.
Well, I don't give a shit if they cause me problems. So they cannot dismiss what I say, and they focus only on me.
Hell yeah. So easier for Nadine to sneak around. So yeah.
Oh, is it? I hadn't even thought of such a thing.
Yeah, it just worked out somehow. Cool. So yeah, you wave the bottle around, and yeah, they look at you and says, "Ma'am, this is a private matter. There's no need."
Private matter? My ass, it's a private matter. Who are you and what are you doing here?
Like I said, ma'am, do you have no rights to demand such information?
I'm going to chuck the bottle at the van's windshield.
Ooh, yeah, you do that, and I mean they can't dismiss what you say, so they kind of like flinch a bit, and they flinch, not a bit. Yeah, it's gonna smash through the windshield and smash inside, and I think what's gonna happen is they're gonna raise their hands up a bit. This woman. And says like, "Ma'am, there's no need to get violent."
Then you can answer my questions.
This is a service to help those that are dispossessed, ma'am.
To help?
Yes.
Friend has been missing for 2 weeks. Last seen with one of your vans. So you can produce him, or we can see how much more damage I can do to this van. Does that sound like a fun game?
What's your friend's name, ma'am?
His name's Jack.
Jack.
About 50 years old, gray beard. Last seen wearing an army jacket. Last name Carlisle on it.
Oh, Mr. Carlisle.
I don't know if his name's Carlisle. I just know that that's what it says on that jacket.
Well, he volunteered himself to us as Mr. Carlisle. We still have him at our facilities.
You have him?
It's part of the agreement. We're very upfront with what we're offering, and
well, have sounds a hell of a lot like saying you possess him.
Like I said, we're very upfront with the agreement we make with our
And
clients.
what is this agreement?
The agreement that I think she catches herself and kind of like tries to compose herself just a bit more.
Do I see a rock anywhere?
Yeah, there's one
rock, bottle, anything, stick.
There's probably a stick at your feet.
All right, how big is this stick? Like big enough to basically intimidate that she's gonna get a beating?
Probably big enough.
All right. So I pick up the stick and keep walking toward her.
All right. See, I'm just trying to figure out because there's no. I think that make a stand move is still in effect. Actually, here's what's gonna happen. You'll notice this, and then I'll cut to Nadine, and then we'll cut to the other two. They're sheeting instead of a door to the condemned building, and you can probably hear some heavy footsteps coming out of the building. I want to know what Nadine's doing. What were they doing while Lily's got this jerk under control?
So Nadine is going around the van, and they are taking note of the license number and trying to see if there's someone else in the van. and as soon as things start to escalate, they just cover their hand. They are trying to explain how Lily can still join on this scholarship after they assaulted someone, and try not to think too much about that. They try to get inside the van and they pull out the phone to take some photos, but by accident they press the new app.
Oh, so before that happens, I think the information gathering is still good. You're gonna roll rebel eyes for me. You check against heat because I think it's still good to have that. To get that info. So roll 2d6. See how's your heat.
2
It's
6.
fine. 2 6s. See, strong hit. You're gonna hold 2. As you're in this situation, before you click on the Traverse the Metaverse app, you can ask 2 questions. You can spend hold.
What time am I overlooking?
I think what you are overlooking is that again, I think because we're kind of temporally moving back a bit. I think what you're overlooking, what ladies overlook, is that the sheeting covering up the doorway is open, and that I think because you're closer to like the building a bit, you can kind of hear like a soft conversation kind of going on, just barely, but you can hear some very like well-mannered folks saying, you this agreement is good and we'll take care of you, Ms. McLaughlin. I think that's what you hear. Just snippets of that. And you have one more hold.
Who's in charge here? Do I get the name of a company? Do I check on my phone who is this registered to?
Yeah, I think you took a picture of the license plate and all that, and I think there's no driver, so it's fine. You're not being noticed. I think that woman was the driver. So and then he throws the bottle. It breaks through like the windshields of the van. You can probably see clearer into the van as kind of like the woman's attention is being wrapped up around Lily, and you see throwing things is good. You'll see what looks like a patient chart, and you see like Jack Carlisle's there, Sherry McLaughlin's there. It's eerie. Like, do you remember last session when you found that chart and it was a lot of like people's names and recruiting/recruited, that sort of thing is there. It's kind of like that. And on the top, you'll see like you see I think let's see. I don't want to make it the place you work at, but like what's the Bordeaux Institute's like glitzier, nicer sort of, unless you want to make it the Bordeaux Institute, because otherwise that might be too cruel to you. But
What exactly are you asking for?
I was, sure. Let's double down. Yeah, you see the name of the top. It says like project manager Dr. Christine Boucher. That's you get the name of who's in charge.
Mm-hmm. And I guess it makes sense that to be one of the main contributors to the Bordeaux Institute.
Yeah, I think even like there's a notice inside the van, sponsored by the Bordeaux Institute, whatever this is. And yeah, I think that's when you saw that and like, oh shit, and you pull out your phone and try to take some pictures, but you've hit the Traverse the Metaverse app. And yeah, I think, let's see. Yeah, let's dive into darkness. Both of you, Nadine and Lily, are gonna check against blood for me when you travel across the border between reality and the castle. So yeah, just 2d6 against your blood.
2-5.
Okay. How about you, Lily?
Sorry about that. 2 5s.
Cool. All right, so you two are doing well. So on a strong hit, you're gonna pick 3. You appear in the same place as another rebel. That's important. You don't draw castle denizens to your location. You don't mark static, and you enforce a piece of mundane gear. All right, so you can pick 3 of those. I suggest for Lily, you don't mark static because this is your first go inside the dungeon. You're gonna want to mark static because that's how you get to Shadow 1 or get your moves. But yeah, let's pick those. Let's see what you 3 you 2 pick, and then I'm gonna cut and then describe how this traversing happens, and then I'm gonna cut to the other 2.
Do we each pick 3, or do we pick 3
Yes.
total?
You each pick 3.
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory if I need to pick static, or if I need to get static.
Oh yeah. So you just get the other 3. Okay, that makes sense. What about you, Nadine?
Okay, I appear on the same space in another rebel. I don't mark static, and I don't draw cast of denizens to your location.
Okay, so all right, so you press this Traverse the Metaverse app, and I think it's just there's like a pulse, and I think you get hit by this pulse, Lily. Just as you're about to swing the stick at this this person, and I think at the periphery, at the corner of your eye, you see like a bunch of more people in suits. 2 people in suits come out, and between them is again this kind of small person with the beanie and the brunette hair poking out the beanie with the big dark bag under their eyes. They've got a coat that's a size too big for them and they shouldn't be wearing in the summer. Why are they wearing that coat? It's ridiculous. Just as you see that, but another pulse, and it feels like you're falling, both of you. It feels like you're falling, but you're still like standing on solid ground. It's a weird sort of vertigo. It feels like, actually, no, it's not that you're falling. It's like the world is rushing around you as if it's falling upwards and you're falling downwards. It's a weird effect. Let's cut to the other 2. I think AJ, you'll see in your Metaverse app, you see like a notification saying that 2 comrades have access to the Metaverse. That sort of thing. 2 comrades. That's a big word there.
Yeah. And I think I'll show it to Mott and say this showed me where you were earlier. Do you think Nadine and Lily have gone wherever it was we went?
I'm not used to seeing it in an app, but I would assume so.
guess we
But
should
why did they go without us? Has something gone wrong?
maybe. I guess we should try and get there as soon as we can. I guess we have to go in at the same place they did.
I've never tried this method of entry before. We could try it now.
Sure, I'll see. Yeah, I'm going to open up the app and yeah, see if like there's a way of accessing the castle.
Cool.
I'll mimic the motions and like tap on my hand, see if it does anything.
Cool. I think probably while you're having this conversation, you're making your way towards where they were, because you had it in the Metaverse app. So I think you can definitely like round the corner and you'll see this person kind of being bundled into the van with a broken windshield or a broken window. And yeah, you tap into the app, and I think both of you are gonna roll that same move. I think we're finally gonna bring the four of you together, but in this castle. So roll check against blood. Two of you. I see Mott there has 2 blood.
Yeah, that was the like weakness or whatever it's called that I put in there. Does that mean I have to check against 2 instead of 1?
No, what happens? Yeah, what happens? You need. We're gonna count how many dice are over 2.
Gotcha. I got 2 anyway. 4 on a 6.
Cool.
I-
What about you, AJ?
Yeah, I also got 2.
Fab. So same as the other 2 on a strong hit. Pick 3. Appear in the same place as another rebel. You don't draw castle denizens to your location. Don't mark static and reinforce a piece of mundane gear.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to let's see. Yeah, I will appear in the same place as another rebel. I won't draw attention, and yeah, I won't mark static for now.
Cool. What about you, Mott?
I'll appear in the same place, won't draw denizens, and I'll reinforce a piece of gear.
Ooh.
I think my signature like top hat that I use for performances is going to give me 1 armor now.
Fine. All right. Okay. All right. So I think I think we're gonna close off with you all at the entrance of this castle. So I think when everyone comes to, as their the falling thing happens, like also the 2 of you, but you're more prepared for this, unlike Nadine, who blundered into it. So once you like stop falling and you've righted yourself, you'll see that like you're in this like parking lot that seems like it stretches for a while, and it's full of black vans, and you can see like the sky is this weird green and red, swirling and whatnot. And you can see like you're at the entrance of the parking lot, and you can see ahead of you is like this big white sort of what looks like some sort of castle like hospital. You see a big red cross as well on it, and it's a bit of a ways during this parking lot. Lily, you get up. You're still holding the stick. You're perfectly fine. And you see there's 3 other people with you, and they look a bit weird. Nadine's with you, but Nadine, can you describe for Lily what you look like in the metaverse?
So there seems to be a swirl of menacing shadows clinging around Nadine that seem to hide their expression, and their coats seem to have warped into some kind of red red maestro coat, and they are holding a violin.
Cool. So Lily, you see that. Go ahead.
What the fuck?
And then you turn and see there's two other people. One person you recognize. AJ, what do you look like in the metaverse?
Yeah, so AJ mostly looks his normal self, but he's like got like a floral wreath around his head and floral wreath sort of draped down over his torso, and he's holding a long like quarterstaff, solid quarterstaff, but with like thorns coming out of the wood.
Yeah, so you see that, Lily. By Mott, what do you look like?
You've got Mott in the like usual street magician wear with like the fancy top hat, and their face, instead of being a face, is just this like bulging, moving, dark red liquid.
So, Lily, how are you feeling?
I think the first thing that I noticed is that the stick that I was holding is no longer a stick. And it is now an actual quarterstaff. Dark wood, finely polished, got a couple of sisal rope grips on it. And I'm just like, what the hell just happened? Where are we? What the hell?
Oh, look at her. She's a natural. She is already drawing up in its power.
I mean, it'll take a while to explain, but basically, if you want to help Sherry, then I'm not sure if you know who Sherry is. I'm not sure who knows anyone here. Nice to meet you, I'm Mott. Anyway, if we want to help Sherry, we've got to move fast, and we can do that here.
Sherry? Who the hell is Sherry? I was here to help Jack.
Oh, well, I mean, we might be able to help them too.
When whatever this is over, somebody's going to get me a bottle of some really decent whiskey, and you're going to explain this to me in detail. Until then, I'm assuming that there's somebody's ass who needs kicking, because everybody seems to be armed. And that really doesn't seem like it would be the case if we weren't supposed to beat on somebody.
Well, we had to beat some tin cans last time, so I suppose it will be the same.
That's fantastic. Show me where they are so we can get the hell out of here.
Yeah, and I think the camera just kind of like pans from Lily's card stuff, towards the big fuck off white castle in the distance, as you're in at the edge of the parking lot, surrounded by all these black vans. And yeah, I think
Lily looks at one that just runs the quarterstaff straight through the passenger side window and says, "Assholes."
Nice. I think that's a good note to end this session. Sorry, I'm trying to like end stuff earlier because I have a bad habit of ending right at the time. But yeah, no, I think that's a very good image to end it on. Yeah. So we're gonna have a big old dungeon delve next week. There's some stuff I probably there's some more stuff I need to explain, but for now, always get this on the record. Thanks again, folks, for just coming with ideas or things they want to do, and just some fucking excellent characters there. Do want to give a shout out to Lily, who's just, man, she should have been here in the first session, just really get things going. But yeah, no, thanks very much, folks. I'm gonna stop this broadcast. Again, I just want to get on the record. Y'all are great. See y'all next week, YouTube. How do you stop this? Oh yeah, there we go. You stop here. Thank